Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. Today, taking a look at three keys for the Giants to hopefully compete, maybe beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, easier said than done, of course. We want to talk about three things specifically that will play a big part in this game, hopefully end up being catalysts if the Giants can keep this game close in the fourth quarter. Of course, Kansas City's offense, no joke, scoring about 27 points per game, but their defense is absolutely abysmal, allowing 29 points on average per game. Historically bad secondary. They're just a mess. I mean, they got DeAndre Baker back there. I don't even know what he's up to anymore, but definitely not good for the Chiefs. This is an opportunity for the Giants to show that their offense can beat bad teams, beat bad defenses. And after last week putting up 25 points against a pretty decent Carolina unit, I'd say they should be able to do the same, if not score more, especially if they're going to get some of those playmakers back. Before we dive into all this good stuff, Anthony, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting really excited for some football this weekend, of course, ready for Halloween. That should be fun. Halloween Sunday, Giants are playing on the day after Halloween, but most football is taking place on Halloween, so that should be fun. But of course, Monday Night Football versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a big game for the Giants because if there is an opportunity for them to turn their season around, it's right now. I mean, you look at it, everyone's like, oh, Giants going into Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Not a chance. Well, they're 2-5, the Giants, and Kansas City's only 3-4. Their record is only one game better than ours. So honestly, this is probably a winnable game. This is something that the Giants could feasibly pull off. Not saying that they will. I understand it's Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's never easy to take them down unless you're the Tennessee Titans, apparently. But this upcoming Monday for the Giants, this is a real opportunity for them to put themselves back on the mat, get right, fix the season, turn things around, get this win. I mean, they have momentum right now. The defense really has momentum because they played the Carolina Panthers last week, held them to 3 points. Giants are really kind of rolling now, kind of picking up some steam. Offense played well, defense played well on the same occasion. So now if you go into Monday night and you can do that over again, hopefully, which I know isn't always an easy task for the Giants, but if they can go out there and have a solid performance against the Kansas City Chiefs and somehow pull out a win, we might be talking about them turning their season around and going off a really good run towards the postseason. That's what I'm hoping for. Don't want to get too optimistic. Obviously, the season felt as over as ever 3 weeks ago, but going into this game, feeling a little bit more optimistic. I'm feeling like there are three keys to this game that could put the Giants out on top.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to start with kind of backwards because we had them listed 1 through 3, obviously. But I want to start with number 3 because what we saw Aaron Rodgers do last night against the Cardinals with no receivers, right? He had St. Brown or something crazy. I don't know. I'm going to say his name. St. Brown. He had Jawan Winfrey. He had Amari Rodgers. He had pretty much nobody but Aaron Jones. And the guy went out there and did what Aaron Rodgers does. He freaking kicks ass no matter the circumstance. Daniel Jones needs to have a game like that. Now, it's obviously easier said than done. We're talking about a future Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best to ever play the game compared to Daniel Jones. But we've seen Daniel Jones do good things in the past. We've seen what he can do on the run. We've seen what he can do in the passing game. He needs a little bit of time in the pocket, but, it's always nice to have an Aaron Jones. And really, Aaron Rodgers, if you were to put him in Daniel Jones' place right now, we're talking about, a team that doesn't even have an Aaron Rodgers and then take away another couple of offensive linemen. Aaron Rodgers has no idea what Daniel Jones has been going through at times this season. I don't think most good quarterbacks do. And that's really why we sit here and we talk about Daniel Jones really not getting a fair chance to show what he can do and really evaluate him properly because the Giants have been, just slaughtered by injuries. Their offensive line is a disaster right now. Not having Tony, not having Galladay, not having Saquon, not having Shep, not having Slayton at times. Not having John Ross at times, it doesn't end. It just really doesn't end for Daniel Jones. I feel so bad for the guy, but I do think he's done enough to prove that he can be a good quarterback. We're going to need for him to show that he can compete against a bad defense on Monday night. Now, how important is it that he does play well? It's pretty much everything. Beating the Chiefs is a matter of can you score more than them? What happened to them last week against the Tennessee Titans was an anomaly. That does not happen very often. They have a solid offensive line. You're going to have to outscore the Chiefs, which means you're going to have to put up at least 25, 26 points to win this game. Daniel Jones needs some of those weapons back desperately. He's not going to score that much if he doesn't have those guys. And I think, once they have to abandon the run game, that's when things are going to get shaky for the Giants because last week, they were able to commit to the run. Their defense was playing well enough that they could, ride Devontae Booker. He had a 20-yard rushing touchdown. They could really control the clock and play a little bit slower and play to their momentum. But I think that with the Chiefs, with a team that can score so many points very quickly, there's a chance that we're playing from behind. In that case, we're not going to be able to run the football. We're going to have to be passing the football. It takes out a whole portion of our playbook, which means that Daniel Jones is going to have to play a really clean, good game. I think he's going to have to be efficient. No turnovers. Can't make any bad decisions. Don't let a bad defense take advantage of you. And I think that taking some shots downfield would be a really good idea for this team because their secondary is a mess. They really are having trouble in transition. They're having trouble communicating and locking down receivers. I think Darius Slayton will have a good opportunity to get some deep balls. I think Kadarius Toney might have a chance if he plays. Kenny Galladay, use that big body, use that possession receiver stature of his, Anthony. But when you're looking at Daniel Jones, how important is it that he has a good game against the Chiefs? In my opinion, it's pretty much the difference between winning and losing, as it should be every single week for a quarterback.
Yeah, I completely agree. He is the number one player for the Giants this week. If the Giants want to win this game, they need to get a good performance out of Daniel Jones. That's how I feel most weeks, but I feel that especially this week because of the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is maybe the worst in the NFL, like actually that bad. It is horrible. They are literally towards the bottom of the league in pretty much every major defensive metric. So for the Giants, this is the week to have a great, big offensive performance. And that's on the shoulders of Daniel Jones because, of course, we know there's a lot of injuries on the Giants offense, on the offensive line, in the playmakers, wide receivers, running backs, so many injuries, but there's been one constant, and it's been Daniel Jones showing up to play every single game. And on some of those games, he's played really, really well. So if he can go out there on Monday and play really well, hopefully just kind of carry these backups along with him into a good performance against a really bad defense, then yeah, Daniel Jones, he is the key determining factor as to whether or not the Giants are going to win this game, in my opinion. If he has a good performance, say he's able to have a performance like the one he had against the Saints, I'm going to feel pretty good about the Giants. I'm going to feel like Daniel Jones really could be that guy and really could lead them to a victory on Sunday, or on Monday rather. But if he has a performance like he did against the Rams, obviously I'm not feeling so confident. And obviously the Giants aren't going to win a game when the quarterback plays like that. However, I think that we're going to get a better version of Daniel Jones because no, we're not going up against the Rams defense with Aaron Donald. We're going up against the Chiefs defense with a bunch of backups starting. So this is definitely an opportunity for Daniel Jones to take advantage of a good matchup, a really poor defense, and hopefully lead the Giants to a very clutch victory.
This would be a big win, guys. This would probably be the most important win of the season, because this is a game that we circled way back in the beginning of the preseason, said we are losing this game. This is going to be pretty much an automatic loss. But now, looking at the Chiefs, they're struggling. They're having some issues. This is a chance to really take advantage of those issues. I know the Chiefs people are going to be like, they want to bounce back. They want to use this game as like a get right game. But the Giants also wanted to use that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't discount the fact that the Giants also want to say, we want to use this to build momentum. We want to put together another win. We want to show the league that we can beat a good team. This is the fact that the Green Bay Packers beat the Arizona Cardinals 7-0 undefeated team last night with none of the receivers tells me that anything can happen. If you have a guy playing as well as Aaron Rodgers, if you have a guy playing as well as DJ has at some points, maybe against the Saints, anything can happen. You can win games. But the second key is controlling the clock. That is the number one thing for this team. Aside from Daniel Jones, especially on offense, is controlling the momentum of the game, controlling the clock. Obviously, turnovers is a must. That goes into Daniel Jones's portion. But controlling the clock, running the football, establishing the run, using play action to take shots downfield. I think if the Giants can really have a good running game and Kansas City's run defense is pretty bad, I think that you can really control the momentum, and that way you can pick up first downs, really just take that clock down, keep Kansas City's offense off the field. That should be the number one goal. Keep their offense off the field at all times, because when they're on the field, there's a good chance they're going to score at any moment. So I think this is a good key for the Giants. Make sure that they maintain momentum, make sure that they're controlling the pace of the game. If they can do that, they can really strategize better in game and make good in game adjustments as the game flows.
Absolutely. Controlling the clock is key. You never want to give the Kansas City Chiefs all of the possession in the world because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat you that way, right? They're going to go out there. They're going to score touchdowns every single week. I mean, last week they didn't. They scored 3 points, obviously. That is an anomaly. That's not normal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Usually they're going to go out there and they're going to hang 25-plus points on any defense. They'll go up against the best of the best defenses. They'll still go out there and show out offensively. That's usually how it goes with the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't go that way last week. It hasn't really gone that way exactly for the majority of the season. They've been struggling. They're 3-4. They have a losing record right now. But For the Giants, this defense is actually playing with some momentum right now. It's actually playing some pretty good football. And if they can go up against the Kansas City Chiefs offense and hopefully get the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, create a couple of turnovers, that's really ultimately how the Giants are going to control the clock, in my opinion. Yes, we can talk about the offense, establishing the running game, protecting the passer, blah, blah, blah. It's really up to the defense to get the ball out of Kansas City's hands, get the Chiefs off the field, get stops on third down, fourth downs. We know that they're going to go for it on at least one or two fourth downs. Giants get the stop. And also, main thing, if you really want to win possession and control the clock, get some freaking turnovers. Patrick Mahomes leading the NFL in interceptions right now with 9 of them. Okay? Giants, force some interceptions. That's how you're going to control the clock. That's how the Giants are going to win possession. And ultimately, that could be how they win this game.
Agreed. Yeah, it really comes down to those very minute, detailed situations, those one moments, those fourth and ones, those third downs. Get off the field, give your offense an opportunity. There's going to be a couple of really important plays in this game where the Giants are maybe at the 50-yard line. Let's say the Kansas City's at the 50-yard line, and there's a third down call. It's 3rd and 5. Are they going to get off the field right before halftime? Are they going to get off the field in the third quarter, the fourth quarter when it matters most? Those are going to be the moments where we're looking at this defense saying, if you can stop Kansas City and turn it around, we have a shot here, but they just got to get off the field. They did a tremendous job last week. I think Carolina only converted 2 of 15 third down attempts. So that's what they need to do against Kansas City. Easier said than done when you're facing off against Pat Mahomes, but they got to give it their all. And the last key is protect the deep portions of the field. When you're facing Patrick Mahomes, you always have to be wary of the deep ball, of him running out of the pocket, slinging it 50, 60, 70 yards downfield to Tyreek Hill, who has somehow disappeared beyond the secondary and is alone. I think that we're going to see a lot of Adoree Jackson lined up on Tyreek Hill. He's done it in the past. He predominantly has man covered him. I think they're going to be playing a lot of two deep safeties, but don't be surprised to see Adoree Jackson kind of also having an eye on him. I don't think James Bradbury is the ideal fit to be on Tyreek Hill. He's too fast, too quick, too agile. I think Adoree Jackson is probably who we're going to see if they're playing maybe two high safeties or playing cover 2 man. So I expect to see a lot of Adoree Jackson on him. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if we're talking about Tyreek Hill, we're talking about Adoree Jackson. You got to get your fastest cornerback on there. But of course, it's not just Adoree Jackson versus Tyreek Hill. If you're going to leave them in a one-on-one situation, oh boy, that's going to get scary for the Giants, right? So it's going to be Adoree Jackson, then probably Xavier McKinney or Logan Ryan over top. I think there are going to be situations where you have Xavier McKinney matched up on Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill and Xavier McKinney are kind of similar body type, I would say. And I do think that that's something that Xavier McKinney can handle as long as he has a safety help over top. But of course, anytime you're talking about covering Tyreek Hill, you're talking about safety help. You have to be double teaming him pretty much every single play because he's so fast and he's so good. He's going to burn you. He's going to make plays. And if you leave the deep portion of the field open, Tyreek Hill is going to expose you. He's going to go deep. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw some 70-yard bomb. He's going to run under it, and they're going to score a touchdown. That's literally just how it goes when you play the Kansas City Chiefs. So for the Giants, obviously, stating the clear obvious, I am stating the obvious for the Giants, double team Tyreek Hill. They know this, so they're going to do this. They know to cover the deep portion of the field. But schematically, how are they going to do that? Well, probably a lot of 2 high safety looks because you don't want just one single high safety. Then you leave the boundaries wide open. 2 high safeties, probably a lot of cover 4, some cover 3, although that gets a little scary because then you have the single high safety for them to challenge the deep outside. So you're probably going to see a lot of cover 2, Tampa 2, so that there's someone in that deep middle. And that's probably schematically what the Giants are going to try and do to alleviate some of the concerns of Patrick Mahomes bombing the ball 50 yards downfield. That's really what the Giants have to do. If he is out there slinging the rock downfield and creating big explosive plays, and the Giants offense isn't able to make enough big explosive plays to counteract what Patrick Mahomes is doing, then they will lose. The Giants defense has to prevent explosive plays. The Giants offense has to create explosive plays. If you're not making explosive plays and you're planning to play this mundane dink and dunk, get 5 and 10 yards here football, you're not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They're too well coached. They have too much talent on the offensive side of the ball. That's just not how you're going to do it. You got to go tit for tat, toe to toe, sling the rock, Daniel Jones, go out there, throw some deep shots, and the defense has to be prepared to defend against those as well.
Agreed. I think that's ultimately how you got to do it. And I think that the Chiefs will probably try to do the same thing against Daniel Jones, try and protect the deep ball as well. They don't want to be giving up big chunk plays and big touchdown catches. But the last kind of portion of this episode we want to talk about is, should the Giants still be, even if they win this game, should they still be sellers at the trade deadline? Personally, I think that they should be sellers of key individuals. There's not, I'm not trying to like say that we should be selling everybody, trading James Bradbury or George Jackson. I'm not trying to say that we should be fire selling everybody, but I do think there are some key individuals who should be considered. I think Evan Ingram is one of them. Who knows if he's even going to get back? If we're going to get back a comp pick for him, he might sign a 1-year prove it deal somewhere, and then not a long term extension. The compensatory guidelines or whatever it might be won't give us a high pick, won't give us a decent draft pick. We're better off trading him now to a team maybe like Green Bay, who just lost Robert Tonyan. I mean, their coach just said, I'm sick for the injury. Like, he actually got a pretty serious injury, and I think Aaron Rodgers with Evan Ingram would be awesome. I would watch that. That sounds like a pretty interesting combination. Although the second he drops the ball, Aaron Rodgers might kill him. So really interesting there. But, Anthony, is there anyone in your mind aside from Evan Ingram that should be on the trade deadline? I think the Giants should be sellers, but only for key, specific people.
Yeah, I think that the Giants should absolutely be looking to sell Evan Engram. They should be looking to trade him away. I do think that the Packers are a really good option. But if we're going to go towards anybody else, Jabril Peppers would have been a name that made sense. Now he's on injured reserve, done for the year. He's just going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Defensively, you could discuss maybe Dexter Lawrence. I like Dexter Lawrence a lot. I think that he does have all-pro potential at one point in his career. He is a really talented interior defensive lineman. But for the Giants, if they're trying to go the rebuild route, it's really going to depend because the deadline is on Tuesday. It's going to depend what the Giants do on Monday. If the Giants get blown out on Monday, then yeah, I'm probably saying trade away everybody, trade away Dexter Lawrence, trade away everybody. But if they somehow pull out a victory on Monday night, I'm probably saying, keep Dexter Lawrence around. Let's build on him. Let's keep some of these players around. But if they were to lose, let's go down that route. They should absolutely be sellers of pretty much everybody. And I do think you could probably throw 1 or 2 receivers into that mix. I think John Ross is a name that could actually yield a draft pick. Like, he could be a potential trader or a trade piece. And also Sterling Shepard, obvious one there. They have an out in his contract coming up. He's still really good. He's a veteran. Teams love trading for veteran wide receivers to make an impact midseason. He's a name that you could see brought into discussions. And then, of course, Darius Slayton, same exact reasoning behind that. Any one of those wide receivers could end up being traded. Unfortunately, though, for the Giants, they're probably not going to want to do something like that because so many injuries, right? So many injuries on offense, so many injuries at wide receiver. Probably best to just keep these guys around and let Daniel Jones go out there with some competent receivers, right? Not let him go out with a ton of backups every single week. But those are really the main ones. If the Giants are going to make some trades, Evan Engram is the obvious number one trade target for other teams. I think Giants receiving core is another area that the opposing or the other teams in the league might look into. And then, of course, defensively, defensive line, Dexter Lawrence. And then outside of that, I don't really know if the Giants have any other trade pieces on defense realistically.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. November 2nd, Tuesday at 2 p.m. That is the trade deadline. That's when it all comes down, and we'll see if the Giants make any moves. Of course, Dave Gettleman making them is a little bit scary. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to try and execute, but we'll find out, my friends. Also, make sure to check out our sponsor, BUSR, in the description of this video. Sign up for free and have a chance at winning $250 that you can use to spend on the sportsbook there. Really awesome stuff. They're also matching any of your first bets up to $500. So giving away free money. Go enjoy that. Hit the description up, and you can take advantage of that promo that we are running right now. And make sure to subscribe below on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube as always, my friends. We'll catch you guys on the next New York Giants episode.